Hey guys, and good morning from beautiful Sydney. We're going to be spending the whole weekend here, and we thought we're going to show you around and show you some of our favorite spots here. So you might be wondering where Andrew is. It's Anzac Day today, so he's serving King and Country, and he will be joining me tomorrow. He's pretty busy today, so I'm just checking the forecast one more time. Weather is a bit of a mixed bag this weekend down here, but yeah, let's grab a jacket and let's go and explore this beautiful place called Sydney. So a must stop for us every single time we're here, Mrs. McGuire's chair. It's just the best spot in my opinion to absorb all the beautiful views, spectacular views over Sydney Harbour. But we're not only coming for that. No. We're also coming for the locals, the yellow-crested cockatoos. Those birds are just so full of character and personality and it's just, that's how I like to spend my time, just watching them and observing them. So there's one particular spot where I like to go to hang out with them. So let's head over there and see if they're social enough today to show their cute little faces on camera. Okay, here we are at Lady McGuire's chair. It's a bit of a building site. It's they're setting something up for the Sydney Opera, so we can't go further that way, but look at that. Not bad, eh? So let's head over to the Opera House now. Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I did plan on taking you down to the Opera House, but being a public holiday, it was just way too busy. And to be honest, I'm not great with crowds, and I felt so uncomfortable walking around making videos. So I'm sorry, but I did manage to grab some photos, so yay me. Sydney's great, Sydney's awesome, Sydney is beautiful, but way too many people. So anyway, earlier I mentioned that Andrew will be joining me tomorrow, and we have something really exciting planned, so stay tuned and I see you tomorrow.
Well, g'day team, it's a pleasure to join you, and thank you to Kat for getting this video underway. So today we're doing a walk from Manly Wharf to the Q station, otherwise known as the quarantine station. We'll talk more about that later on, and then we'll proceed further with the walk, and we'll talk more about that as we do that as well. So this should be a really interesting video for you to watch, and let's proceed. Back in the day, before the arrival of the Europeans, this would have been a very popular spot for the local indigenous mob. You've got an abundance of fresh water, you've got shelter here of the caves, and you've got an abundance of food there with the water. Of course, the oysters and the mussels, fish. We're standing here on the beautiful North Head. North Head is the northern entrance into Sydney Harbour. Behind us in the distance you can see the South Head and the famous Watson's Bay, and of course the beautiful, beautiful Sydney Harbour. This place is quite spectacular, it really is. You can see the view behind us, you can see the city, the harbour itself. Just over that direction there is the South Pacific Ocean, and it is quite literally a very superb location. Very personal connection here for me as well. I've had ancestors going back 200 years ago, over the last 200 years. They come right through that entrance there, right, and they headed off over to that direction where the city is. And they came here without a choice. They came here in chains. So a lot of Australians would have a shared heritage about that. So it's a very special place to be here, to see where they came from, you know, and where they actually transited through there into Sydney, and yeah, eventually here I am today. So yeah, bringing back is very special. This place has got a lot of heritage, both indigenous heritage and early European heritage. So it's yeah, it's quite a very special area. Let's continue on. Hello folks again, here we are at the quarantine station. So we'll just go over here and have a little bit of a talk about this place. So where we are is currently just on the inside of Sydney Harbour, on the northern edge, just below where we were previously at North Head. What you see here is a quarantine station that was set up in about the mid 19th century, and that was because it wasn't just convicts that came here. There were a lot of free immigrants that came here as well. Hundreds of thousands of people every year. And back in the day, they didn't have a lot in the way of medicines to combat things like the plague, influenza, cholera, all these horrible diseases. And the colonial administration back in the day were very worried about diseases outbreak in the colony, because it would have literally just wiped out the colony. So they set up this place called Quarantine Bay and Quarantine Station, or Sydney Quarantine Station. So early migrants that came here back in the day, it sort of acted in the same ways like Ellis Island in New York. So all the migrants that came here by boat, they had to be processed here for health checks and that sort of stuff. Or if there was some sort of disease outbreak on the ship, then the ship would be quarantined here in the bay. And you know, obviously they'll have facilities on shore where they weren't allowed to leave, but they had all the facilities that they needed to you know, go through the quarantine period before being released into the wider community. So yeah, here we are. It's a place that Kat and I have been wanting to explore and check it out. I've never been here. The thing about this place has got a very tragic past as well. Obviously with the diseases that arrived to these shores, and they had to be quarantined here with very little options for treatment, and thousands of people died. So thousands of people are buried here in various cemeteries, and it's been well known that this quarantine facility is the most haunted location in Australia. So yeah, frightening stuff. All right, let's have a look where we are.
We're here.
And Kat's going to tell us where we're going to go now. Where are we going now? We're going to get food because we're starving. So where we're going to go is over here to the Wharf Precinct, where the Visitor Centre and Cafe is. That's where the migrants all came in ashore, and off they go to the various facilities that they needed to, accommodation facilities and treatment facilities and whatnot, and obviously cemeteries if they happen to pass away on the ship. So that's where we're going. Grab a food and a coffee, and then we are going to get out of here, get back on the ferry and head back into the city. All right, we will talk to you again later. Hooroo. One thing I forgot to mention about Sydney Quarantine Station is that the facility is huge. It's literally like a little village within the city. There is a lot of buildings that are no longer in use, obviously. But yeah, there's a lot going on here, and we've already been walking a fair bit today, and we're not looking forward to the walk back up the hill. But it's a very interesting place to visit, to check out what it's like here, and come to the sudden realization of just how big this place really is. It's huge. So cool to walk around it. Be even cooler if we weren't so exhausted and sore, but that's what you get when you go on hiking tours. You're just going to have to put up with sore legs, exhaustion, hunger, thirst, but we're doing okay. We're on our way, and we're heading all the way down this way, and we'll show some more a little bit later on. Here we are, we've made it all the way down the hill. About to show you the Wharf Precinct. I'm not sure if you can hear me, it's a little bit windy here, but not too bad. But one thing that's quite striking about this place, despite its size and its tragic history, the place is actually really stunningly beautiful. It's a very interesting place to explore, and yeah, it's quite a beautiful place. Anyway, we'll show you a little bit more as we go on.
Good morning, guys.
Hello, hello.
All right, it's our last day in Sydney. As you can see, it's a bit wet this morning, but it doesn't really matter. We say we're still gonna go for a morning walk. That's the thing we usually do every single time we're here. We just come here to the Botanic Gardens and walk across over to Lady M's chair, as I call it. And yeah, so we're gonna do this today as well. Gardens and just...
That was interesting.
Yeah, weird noises. And sorry guys, I lost track there. Anyway, we're just going to show you around the Botanic Gardens, and stay tuned.
So the Botanic Gardens is absolutely huge. It's a really big area, and it joins on to another place called Hyde Park further down. It's always had an association.
Bananas.
Bananas. Oh, look at that. We're going to show you some bananas. Very young. Just starting to crop up now. It's cool. Anyway, where was I? So the Botanic Gardens, they've always had an association with botany in some way. So when the Europeans arrived at the next cove across, which is called Circular Quay, they needed to allocate some land for farming so they can feed themselves. So they allocated a big space here, not only for where the governor can reside, but also for creating some farms so they can create food. The soil back in those days was nowhere near good enough to create a farm, but at least they tried. In any event, this whole area around us, all the way down to the waterfront to the harbour, has never been developed. Never had buildings standing on it, never been clustered with people and their dwellings. It's always had this kind of a look. And that's one of the very special things about Sydney, when you got places like this, which is It's a beautiful, beautiful garden. Really lovely. Any word from you, Kat?
It's just so pretty, and we always, as I said, we always make it a point to come here. Usually when we arrive, and then again when we leave. But yeah, just lovely.
Yep, that is true. Alright, we'll keep going on and we'll show you a little bit more before we start heading back. Grab some breakfast and then we're heading home. Well, that's it from Sydney for us, folks. We're going to be heading off to breakfast and heading off for home. Unfortunately, it's not the most prettiest days for showing you around Sydney, but here in Botanic Gardens and in this particular view, yeah, it's still rain, hail, or shine. Still quite a stunning place. Sydney's one for me, one of those towns that you love or hate it. I have a love-hate relationship with Sydney. Kat, I think she more loves it because...
Just way too many people and it's way too busy, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people. But, well, we have a seagull convention. I think they're going for the grubs and the worms are getting washed up by the rain. Anyway, we're going to head off and get some breakfast and then go for the long journey back home. Thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed your time with us today, and we look forward to the next video. Hooroo from me and a hooroo from...
Hooroo!
Alright, cheers. Oh, one more thing before we go, folks. What you see over here, those tall birds with the long beaks, they're the bin chickens.
Mitch?
And we call them Mitch. Don't worry, we give all birds a name. So with Mitch, the bin chicken, to those people watching this who might be interested, no, you are not allowed to eat them. Yeah, leave our birds alone.